thing as soon as I start talking. So let me see if I can share this.
Great, good job. I like your PowerPoint.
So first thing I was considering is the expenses. I estimated using the enterprise budget about $4,500 we were spending. So far we spent about $1,400, so that's about 31% of the estimated budget. Not considering the gas, the time, the small miscellaneous items that my parents they purchased that they don't tell me about, and then it pops up out of nowhere. Where's the receipt? I don't know where the receipt is. So I can't account for all of that, but we did buy some one-time purchases like the single row cedars. I did buy access in flats, about 100 flats, and then 100 other 50 cells. So they were more than I was expecting, but I guess they can all be reused over time. So I guess they're all one-time purchases. So that's that, and then Big River Farm training, that I consider that in there too. I think I spent about $400 on seeds, and I did over order a whole bunch of seeds. We seeded 2,200 bell pepper plants, and I still had like 2 full bags left. So I definitely overcounted, but that's a rookie mistake, right? So income, this is I think where we lack the most. Right now, all we have is the CSA contracts, or I should say, all that we have is are the CSA contracts, which totals about $3,600. Farmers markets are, this is never been in a farmers market. On the other side, just shopping. I've never been on the other side selling anything. So we were hoping to just kind of stick by Big River Farms and see what they can teach us. I guess I have no experience in that. Parents don't really have anything in that either. Other sales, we did reach out to a family restaurant that we are closely related to, and they were willing to take some of our produce, but with this COVID-19, they're shut down too. So that's like our only other outside sales that pitch that we had made, and it kind of fell through because of this situation. So we kind of don't have anything right now. So we're just kind of playing it by ear. We'll harvest some. I was talking to my mom about it, and she said that she thinks it's a good idea if we have access, we could donate to food shelters and whatnot as we go throughout the season. So that is as far as income. So I believe just considering that we're under like $1,500 or something like that. Our production goals. One of our contracts is about 30. This year we're supposed to produce about, if I remember, a little over than 350 pounds of bell peppers and 450 pounds of beets. I've never seen that before, so kind of like chasing a rabbit's tail. I've never seen that before, so if we can make that, that's a great achievement for me, right? Other than that, fill all the CSA contracts on time. If we can fill all the CSA contracts without a big hassle, I feel like we can manage more the next year. And then you can see on the right column there are plants to be planted on the farm. We do have only a half acre, so we don't have too much variety, but we do have a little bit to consider. And management goals. One of my main points this year is to get them organized. I wanted to be able to get to the point where we have a task, we know what we're doing,
Hey guys, I'm on the
tasks and stuff like that. So we can complete tasks, we can be efficient about it. My parents are a little old fashioned, so what they can remember at the moment, they'll finish that task, and then we'll come home, and then we'll remember that we have like a whole bunch of other stuff to do. And I really want to eliminate us going to make excessive trips. So if we can be organized, and like on the second point, we can use X squared. We can keep our receipts. We can record our harvesting amounts, and then and then from those records, I can scale it and make it bigger. Uh, otherwise, we're just pretty much guessing. And this is the most record keeping that they've ever done, or I've ever done with them. So we're definitely in uncharted territory together. Other goals, become familiar with the farmers markets and how they function. Like I said, we don't have any experience in that. I've never been at any farmers markets before, so I don't know anything about that. My parents, they used to sell food at the flea markets, so that's about all they have as far as experience go. Establish a niche in the farming industry. I threw that in there because from some of the online sales previously that I've done in the past, one of the biggest things that you can get self-established into um, an industry or any kind is to establish a niche. Um, as far like say clothing, if it was a scarf, or if you could establish a little niche, a little spot in the industry, you can keep going and make your name out of that. The third point is create a name and a logo for our farm. I was thinking about this day and night, and I can't figure anything out, right? Sink Farm is just kind of my dad's name on top of everything. So I've been thinking about this day and night, and then I just remembered that my youngest brother is a graphic designer. So I'll just I pawn everything off to him. He'll find out something. Verification requirements to sell independently. I guess this is one of the big points is I don't really have a layout of what I do need as far as certifications go. If I was to go and sell outside of the umbrella of Bay River Farms. So if you guys can help me out with that, Mopa, that would be great. And I noticed that at the farm we have a packing shed. I didn't know if that was a requirement that you had to have if you were an independent seller, or let's say like a commercial kitchen, because I know if you were making some kind of food product, you had to have a commercial kitchen. I don't know what uh, farming does. It just like a nice clean packing area or something that has to be approved and looked over by the state or the departments. So that is something that still trying to figure out there ourselves. But I think that's about it for a slideshow. Um, there's not much. It's just some brainstorming. I hope I didn't miss any of the points that you wanted. Well, I think that's it. That's the end of my farm plan. How about that?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys, you did an awesome job. If you can just unshare so I could see the rest of your beautiful faces again, that'll be great. Sorry, are you guys, I was trying to figure out this muting thing, but are you guys still hearing any feedback? Is everything okay? All right, so thank you so much for that. That was like really good and a lot of thought into it. So our next, does anybody have any feedback for Chong or any questions that you feel that may help them? I think you had a lot of a lot of questions, Chong. And so as far as the pack shed, just to briefly answer you, is that you do get access to the pack shed, if that was your answer question. And that training will come down. Mm-hmm.
I'll touch base with you about the like certifications and stuff after this.
Cool. Thanks, Molly.
Oh, Chong, I just wanted to say that I had never been to a farmer's market until last year I started, and I started at farmer's markets. So I would say just apply and go for it. So really, it's like a learning as you go. You can always ask me questions if you have any questions about farmer's market.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Okay, great. And the next person on my screen is Kristen. So you are next. So drum roll for Kristen. All right. I'm gonna mute myself so you guys can't hear my background noise, okay?
Okay, howdy. So my farm is Tutti Fruities, and that was a nickname that my mama gave me growing up because I was the real toot. I always did not obey her. So anyway, I was like, I kind of like that for a farm. That's kind of fun. So yeah, last year was my first year, and this is my second at Big River Farms. And so far this year has kind of been not going in the way that I had originally planned. So still some things changing with my farm plan. And that's just the way it's going to be. So I started in December. I really wanted to do something that I enjoyed and that I think would help gain more revenue for myself, because a lot of things that I learned last year was one, I needed to make more money. Two, I needed to not, my speaker's not working.
Kristen, for some reason oh, now we can't hear you. Like some reason you're like your voice is vibrating. And is everyone else hearing the same thing? Like it's like, it's not our audio. I don't think it's mine. I think it's your audio.
Well, I don't know. Can you
Oh,
hear me?
you're perfect now. Nope, perfect. This is good.
Phone's off.
Okay.
I don't know. What the hell did I say and where do I start?
Sorry for interrupting you.
No, that's good that you did. Should I kind of start over then?
Yeah, go for it. Start over.
Okay. Tutti Fruities is my farm. This is my second year. I wanted to incorporate things that I learned from last year into this year to help my farm business and also to help myself. So things that were difficult for me last year, I didn't want them to be difficult for me this year. One was my health. I overworked myself last year and was not in good health at the end of the year. And so this year I have saved up money while not farming so that I can not work another job while I farm this year. So that is has been something that I will incorporate. And then another thing was that I knew that I needed to make more money in order for this farming venture to be a success, because just selling produce is not sustainable for me. And so I went into what do I like to do, and I like to juice. And so I realized that I could juice my produce at market and sell that for a value-added product and not have to get any other licensing because I was juicing everything that I was growing. That is currently on pause, and I don't know if it will go back. Just because of the food regulations at market this year with COVID-19, that I am not able to sell food at market that needs to be consumed at market. And my juices need to be consumed at market. If they were consumed off market site, then I would have to make them in a commercial kitchen space. So that's little backstory of how I designed this year was based upon juicing. So my seed orders and my calculations of budget and revenue were based on that. And now I am not able to put that into my farm plan. So I haven't done any of the numbers with just the produce, but I'm hoping that at the end of the season I can do juicing. So I'm at Nokomis Farmers Market. That's every Wednesday. I'm at Fulton Farmers Market on Saturday, as well as Northeast Market on Saturday. Switching on and off because I feel like Northeast is a better market than Fulton, and that I wanted to be able to reach a different area of the city, because Fulton and Nokomis are kind of like the same area of Minneapolis. And so I wanted to stretch my customer base out to a different area. So Northeast, and then on Sundays, I'm at Kingfield only for juicing or online orders, a pickup for online orders. So that's also something that I incorporated because of COVID-19, and I wasn't planning on it, is doing online orders and pickup at farmers markets, and then delivery days on Monday if people do delivery orders. So yeah, I think it so far it's been a good lesson for me in not to have an idea and have it be like my all, if that makes sense. I really hope that I can still do the juicing, but if I cannot, that was a really good lesson for me. And I even cried on the phone to Christina, just like letting it go. I'm like, I gotta let this go and start over. I have to start fresh. I can't hold on to it. And so I'm still a little bit working through it, but today I just created a vision board for tonight, because that's going to help me start fresh in this year, is to have a new vision for what this year is going to bring for me and the farm. So I'll just show y'all that. So it starts with, I really love this painting, and it's just like going with the flow, like take away control, go with the flow, and she's just taking care of all the veggies, if you see. So I love that. It's a artwork from, I can't remember the artist, but just like some phrases that will encourage me to make the best out of this year, no matter what happens. And that's kind of what I did. I don't know if y'all can see all of it. One of my goals in farming is, I'll read you, this is my mission statement. So it says, to provide nutrition in fun, informative, and easily accessible ways, which are healthy for humans, plants, and the environment. Because I want to be able to make food fun that is nutritional as well. And I want to bridge the gap between farmer and consumer, and plant and consumer, and find creative ways to make that happen. So that's it.
Good work, Kristen.
Good job.
Man, you guys are really creative. I like am intimidated by like going and showing my PowerPoint later. That was like really cool. Well, thank you, Kristen. Any feedback for Kristen, or questions for her, or encouragement, word of encouragement, anything?
Kristen, I think that was awesome, because I know it was hard for you to get there, and you pulled through and did a great job. And I think everybody can relate to that this year, that we all have had to change our plans, and we're all going to have to make adjustments. And you guys are all phenomenal for hanging in there. So good job, Kristen.
Yes. Thank you for that. The next person on my, and I did mention to everyone, like, our farm goals and plans are constantly changing for the season, then I think we just have to remain flexible and forgivable. And yeah, I think that's part of farming, right? It's like it's snowing and 1 minute it's sunny. So
Meh.
yeah. All right. So the next person on my timeline is Dan. Dan, Kate, and Alberto, will you guys be doing it together, or is it going to be 3 separate presentations?
We'll be doing it together. Kate is not home yet, so it'll be Alberto and I.
Cool. All right. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to share the screen.
So on the lower down here, it's the green button that says share screen. Do you see that in the middle? There you go. Cool.
Is it working?
Yep. Perfect. Now I just have to figure out how to see myself so I can mute myself. Oh, you guys did end up naming yourself Three Amigos. That's cute. Okay.
Yeah. Our farm team is the Three Amigos. So I'll start and then I'll turn it over to Alberto for a bit in a minute. Let me just figure out how to do the next slide. Okay. Here's our estimated finances. Keyword estimated. Oops. So for CSA contracts with Big River Farms, that accounts for $3,000 income. St. Paul Public Schools, I guess no one still knows what's going to happen there, but we're hoping for it. And then we're going to try to sell at Kingfield, and Alberto will talk more about the magic that he works selling in his community. Expenses, we're kind of just throwing out numbers here because I don't know what a lot of the things will be. Gas, and this is for the whole team as well. So gas 1,000, a fee for Big River Farms, seed purchases, mushroom supplies, etc. Accounts for a profit of $4,000. Woo! I have a feeling that's optimistic, but hey, we're optimists. So I talked about most of our crops are going to the Big River Farm CSA. That includes leeks, collard greens, sweet potatoes, celeriac, and acorn squash. If we do get a contract with St. Paul, it's beets and zucchini. And then everything else, hopefully we'll be able to sell at the farmer's market or to sell through Alberto's connections. And those are listed below. And Andres, here I'll have Alberto chime in and talk a bit about the places we will sell in his community and any other ideas for sales that he has.
¿Y puede usted decirme, Alberto? Our marketing plan includes selling at some of the churches that I visited. And I've been talking to people in the Bloomington School District. And see, we can still sell it in the Bloomington School District. Well, basically that's what we're planning to do.
Andres, could you have Alberto mention the Stillwater market too?
Mention what?
The Stillwater market.
Oh, ¿me puede usted explicar lo del mercado de Stillwater? Oh yeah, we're going to go to Stillwater on Wednesday to bring some produce. I think that's all I have.
Okay. Thanks, Alberto.
Gracias, Alberto.
So we'll also be going to Kingfield sometimes. I don't know how much we'll have left over of the CSA crops to sell, but we'll try to sell them at Kingfield. And when we can't, we'll try to sell them wherever we can, or happily donate them through the systems in place with Big River Farms. Last year, Alberto was really a hustler in terms of selling produce to his community. And so he's soft-spoken, but he deserves a lot of credit of getting good, healthy food to the folks around him. This is our production plot map. So you can see our plan here. First two rows will be collard greens in 2 rounds. And we're companion planting dill. In the 3rd row, we'll do green onions early and then harvest them out and plant beets later. Same with the 4th. Row number 5 will be half and half. So green onions transitioning to beets, a mesclun mix to acorn squash. Same thing at number 6, lettuce to squash. 7 will be radish to the 2nd round of collards. Some bell peppers, sweet potatoes from May, celeriac. 12 will be half and half. 13 zucchini, 14 leeks. You can see there's a 15 and 16, which it looks like last year there were 16 rows, but we're just not sure. So we're not gonna count on that, but we're definitely gonna plant some sunflowers, whether it's in the row or just to the north of it, just because we love them. For management, it's just the 3 of us. Last year, we did rely on Alberto's sons and family members and some of our friends to join us on the farm, but it'll be just the 3 of us this year, and that's great. It's just a 1/4 acre. In terms of resources, Big River Farms is our biggest resource, and things we're really looking forward to are the business cards and a place on the website where folks can look us up so that we can reach markets, even if it's just individual consumers. That's it. Thank you all. I gotta figure out how to.
Gracias, amigos.
Great job. I mean, that actually went really well, having you guys rotate. And I'm so happy everybody's learning how to use Share. So you guys are becoming Zoom experts. Any feedback or comments, questions for Dan? I really liked how you guys included a plot map. So that's really nice of like how you will actually transition. And I know that our plot maps always change over time. So, and just to give a pointer is like this team came together after a shared plot last year. So to give it some context, like they decided to create the 3 amigos after doing a shared plot. So that to me shows like community building on the farms, which is awesome. So thank
Do you hear
Dan.
me?
Yep. Go ahead, May.
Okay. I just gave him that don't worry about the not enough to sell the farmer market. You're gonna have a lot, and so don't worry about it, Dan and Alberto. I see your crop is good now. That's all I have.
Thank you, May and Molly and Christina for getting our seeds started, and thank you, Mompa, for mentioning that. Yeah, we we love working together as a team. Last year was just a great experience, so we're building on it, and yeah, we're so excited.
Cool. All right, thanks, Dan. All right, moving on to the next person in my timeline is Mallory. Drum roll to Mallory and Lucas. I know it says Mallory on it, but both of you are there. I forget. Great. And do you guys have a PowerPoint to share, or do you guys want us, or you guys know how to do that?
Yes, we have a PowerPoint and we will share it right now.
Cool. I'm just gonna mute myself now.
Oh, okay. I think I might have to restart my connection to the Zoom call to be able to do this. My computer is telling me.
Oh, do you want to email it to me? Then I could share and you could just say next.
Yeah, if the next person wants to go right now.
Okay. Okay, do you want us to, we can go with someone else and you guys can troubleshoot? You want to do that? And you guys can pop back on?
I just sent it right now, so
okay, cool. Well, we
it's
can
up
do
to
it.
you, whatever you want to do.
All right, I got it right here. Okay, let's see. Refresh, inbox. There we go, cool. And yes. Okay, all right. Sign in. Okay, how do I do this? Great. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Where did it go? Okay, can you guys see it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, great.
Yeah.
And then if you guys just want to like, I don't know how to like make it screen view.
Yeah, I think it's good like
This is
how it
perfect,
is.
yeah.
All right, let's go. All right,
Cool.
you guys can start and then just let me know when to go next.
Alrighty. Yeah, we're calling ourselves the All You CEO gardeners. In my language, that means a good heart. It's a word for a good heart. So we think that that really encaptures a lot of our methods and our mentality of how we want to be farming. So I think that that was a pretty fitting name. So you can go to the next slide.
That's a just like a little screen cap from our budget. One of our goals was to cover all of our initial development costs by just our CSA sign up, so we wouldn't have to upfront any of our own savings or anything like that. And we did that, so we're really proud of that already. Something that's really going to help us this season, I think, is just our priorities. We don't want to make making money a huge priority. It's more important to us at this point to become self-sustaining. It's only our first year of operation, so all the money that we make from the season will just get put into the farm next season. And we're lucky to have other jobs that allow us to do this. We definitely recognize that that's not the case for everyone, and so it feels really special to not have to rely on income from the farm. You can go to the next slide.
So then our marketing. Yeah, we will make enough to cover expenses from the people who want our food. So like we said, our money that we already got from our CSAs has covered our expenses. CSAs are our primary market. The Kingfield market is the only farmers market that we will participate in. And then something we're both pretty excited about is my brother and sister-in-law are having a baby. So we're going to be growing a lot of food for them. They're commissioning us to grow a lot of food for them. So really happy that my new niece's first foods are going to be some food that we get to grow and know exactly what's going into it. So really happy about that. You can go to the next one.
So what we're gonna grow, so much. Our plot is 1/2 acre and we've divided up into a couple of sections. We're obviously gonna grow tons of food for our CSAs and markets. We're hoping to donate a lot of food too, and as well as growing food for ourselves, right? the other big part of our production is our seeds. The most of our seeds are from our own saved seed collections, and we have about a third of our plot dedicated just to growing out our seeds to save seeds again. And those seeds we're hoping won't just be for us, but they'll be to supply other farmers as well. That's something that we wanted to do from the jump, but it's important now more than ever. We are already seeing some seed companies start to limit their distribution, and you know, who knows what's going to happen with that. So it's a really important part of being self-sustaining, and we're hoping that that could be a really unique way that we could provide for our communities. How we're going to do it, we have a really cool, very biodiverse crop map that I can show you in a notebook, but we don't have a good graphic to show up on a PowerPoint, but there's a lot of intercropping, a lot of companion planting, and if anyone wants to know more, you can definitely ask us about it later. And then, so it's just us two on the farm team. We'll see what happens with COVID changes, but help from friends is something that we rely on. So we'll see if we're able to incorporate them into the plan as well. You can go to the next slide.
Yeah, the management. So yeah, we both have jobs, both have full-time jobs. So evenings and weekends will be when we're mostly putting in our hours, our times. I think that's pretty similar to a lot of people that'll be farming here, a lot of farm teams that'll be farming at Big River Farms. So we each have farming experience, a couple seasons each. That includes seed keeping and a lot of other experience. We both have tractor experience, even though we probably won't be using tractor experience or the tractor at Big River Farms. We'll share most of the responsibilities, and you know, we both love eating food and we love hard work. I think that record keeping, web design, and online presence are skills that we are working on. And if Big River Farms food safety plans allows for friends and volunteers later in the season, we'll definitely incorporate them into it and work out some like food share program with those friends that come out to help. You can go next.
When we thought about the resources that we are relying on, a lot of it is money, obviously, and we have our CSA market. We applied for the grant that was a collaboration between Chipotle and the Young Farmers Coalition. We won't hear back from that until early May, and it would be really nice to have, as we said earlier, our expenses are covered for what we have going on right now. And any other grants or income would just allow us to do things that we had planned to do in the future sooner. Like we would be able to like expand our seed saving operation this year rather than in future years. So we'll see what happens with that. But really, like, our resources are all the people who are in our life, ourselves, each other, our mentors and friends and supporters. And for us, community is definitely as important as financial resources or legal resources or government agencies or anything like that. And so, yeah, in our background is just a handful of many, many, many important people who've helped us get here and will help us continue. Okay, that's it.
All right.
Good job. Good work.
They're clapping hands here for you guys too. I have an audience back over here. So that's awesome. A thought that just ran through my head is like, you guys are seed savers, so that maybe you guys can host a workshop for us on the farm on like how to seed save, huh?
Yes.
We'll do that. I never thought of that. We missed your guys' seed saving workshop at the conference, so.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be exciting?
I'd love that.
I think maybe we could do like collaborative, like how we seed save, or we could do like a seed swap. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are other farmers too who have those skills and that experience. It's one of those things that doesn't necessarily get talked about a lot, but I bet there's a lot more seed savers than we know.
Yeah, and so Dan says, so cool. You'll be feeding your new niece. That's so cute. I love that. All right, awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for that. My next person on my screen. Any other feedback? Feedback, comments, questions? Okay.
I like that for a first year, considering breaking even or any money going back into the farm is a really good goal to have, and you have other jobs on the side, which helps with security. It's hard to do, and everybody here does it, I know. But that's a good realistic goal on our first year, I think.
Awesome. Thanks. All right, the next person on my timeline is Heather and Marissa.
Okay. We don't have a PowerPoint, but I'm going to try and share my screen. We're going to kind of use our website to guide this presentation. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Good. Perfect. Okay, so we are Mashki Farm and Gardens, and Mashki is a made-up word that we actually, Heather, Christina, and then another farmer friend, Audrey, we all kind of made up together, and we used it we always use it at lunchtime, like we would throw whatever extra from the farm into a pan and call it Mashki. So we took that name for our farm and kind of ran with it. So we have a definition here, just a creative collision of all the best parts coming together. So yeah, so that's our farm. That's what we're trying to do this summer. Bring the best parts and make something beautiful. Yes, okay. What's first? Heather, you have...
I'm gonna talk about finances real quick. Okay, so just to add a little background to what Marissa was saying, so we're specializing in Southern African crops. So for those of you who don't know, I grew up in Zimbabwe, Southern Africa, and I've been collecting seeds over a long period of time and growing them out. And so we're gonna be utilizing that as kind of our main focus, and then we're gonna buffer with a lot of other crops that we know in Minnesota grow super well. We've also been saving seed from crops from my home for a while, and also I have family and friends that have been growing crops here. We're trying to kind of integrate all of that together. So we're trying to offer a CSA is kind of our main focus for our income. And I'd like to say that we've been doing market research for the last 15 years because 5 years. We've been talking to a lot of friends and family about this idea for a very long time, and they have been anxiously awaiting this moment. So I feel like we've been doing a lot of research on it for a while to see who we could finally get to sign up, and hopefully it's going to pay off this year. So our goal is to have 15 weeks of full shares and 8 weeks of half shares. Our goal is to have 30 full shares, up to 35 at most, and maybe 10 half shares. So we're selling our full shares at $5.50 and our half shares at $3.25. And then our motto is to have backup plans of backup plans of backup plans. So we're also doing something called cocktail shares, which Marissa, I will let her talk a little bit more about that one. And Kristen, just a quick feeler, we'd love to talk to you also about juicing opportunities with our cocktail shares. So we'll stick that pin in that. And then we're also doing winter shares. So we have experimented with this stuff over the years, and it's been our most successful thing. So we're kind of drawing on what our skill set is and trying to make something out of that. So we're doing a little over an acre at Big River, and then we also have another piece of property which brings us to about 2 acres in land. And our lofty goal, if we could hit it, would be about $35,000 in profit, and that takes away our expenses. So we have quite a few expenses totaling about $3,500. So COVID added quite a bit. We're trying to hire a delivery driver now since COVID to be able to cut down on risk and the such. So we'll still do drop-offs at 2 co-ops, but we're also going to see if we can deliver some boxes to bring in more people. And thanks to Kristen's delivery idea, we're going to try and utilize some of those ideas around charging people or upselling people for delivery. So the other big expense that we're foreseeing is we have a little bit in taxes, and then our other side gig is landscaping. So 1 day a week, we are going to be just doing very basic maintenance. I have a background in landscaping. We're going to do some basic maintenance in 4 different yards total, so 2 every Friday. And that will be kind of our backup option. So if for some reason we didn't get enough CSA signups, our fallback will be, we'll landscape a few more days a week if need be. But either way, we have some sort of a plan for an income then in the end.
Yeah. And then as far as marketing and getting people to sign up for our CSA, this is obviously our website, like the landing page. And then we also have an Instagram here to help spread the word, but it's mostly friends and family who have been really excited to see this dream come true. So hopefully, mostly word of mouth to get people to sign up. And then management and kind of dividing up tasks on the farm. Heather is our lovely horticulture specialist. I was telling her today, she's the talent on the farm. She's been doing a lot of the crop planning and greenhouse planning and all of that. And then I've been doing a lot of the website stuff and marketing and some of that kind of back end work. Yeah, what am I forgetting?
Marissa is a lot of talent, by the way. I'm going to pipe in and say that as well. She does pretty much everything else. So I was just going to add crops. We're doing 50 different varieties of crops technically, but our specialty ones and one that I wanted to talk about, we have a couple really unique ones from Zimbabwe. So one is called Nemo, which is the one I am most excited about. I was raised eating this by the handful. It is something that is related to the peanut, but so far no one has shown up with any allergies. So people who have peanut allergies don't have allergies to this particular nut. Marissa, do you have those pictures I sent you?
Oh yeah. Oh, can you not see it when I do it? Okay. How do you? Maybe if I stop and reshare. Oh, sorry. I was showing stuff on the website too. Did the screen never change?
The website showed, I think.
Let's try this.
There it is. Okay, so that is groundnut or Nemo. So it grows a lot like a peanut, but it doesn't take up as much space, and it's not as particular about conditions or soil being as loose. It has a little encasing over it like a groundnut. There you can see a little bit better, and you shell them, and it does particularly well in small, intensive spaces, so that should hopefully bode well for us. And that's what the crop looks like. So it's rolling in our greenhouse right now. I'm really, really jazzed about this crop. This was the beloved snack of all of the kiddos when I was growing up as well. So I have a whole lot of friends and family that are jazzed about it. So really hoping this one, and then another one called Piri Piri, which is a type of pepper that we're growing. And then also we have a lot of greens from purple to blue to all sorts of other strange colors of collards and mustards. And the goal is to not only just do regular leafy greens with those, but also Zimbabwean microgreens. So kind of do a little spin off of what our specialty is and add it into the microgreen world. So hoping that we can help people fall in love with greens as much as we love them. So I think that's it.
I think, oh, and then resources.
Yeah.
We've started with just kind of a little bit of our own savings, a little bit of seed money from family to get seeds and stuff. And then we're just now starting to get CSA signups rolling in. So we're hoping to just kind of make it work this summer. I think with COVID, people seem excited to join a CSA. So we're really grateful right now with our plan. There's not too much disruption. We were planning on selling at Kingfield, which now with those changes, we need to discuss that. But yeah. That's
also, we've been fortunate. We are going to work with the Curry Diva as one of Marissa's connections. And thankfully, the couple of wholesale customers that we have, none of them seem to be too set back by COVID. And so we're hoping that stays the same way for us as the season continues.
Yeah. All right, that's Mashki.
Thank you, guys.
Yay!
Yay!
I think there was one question for you guys on this. Jenny asked, did you hire farm help for the 2 acres? For Heather and Marissa?
No, we did not. We are doing that. So we also have the luxury. I'm finishing work here this month and Marissa is now free. So we are actually doing full-time, both of us. So we are going to crazily take it on ourselves.
Wow, you guys are ambitious. Good luck. I think you guys are a first-year farmer who jumped in and like CSA website made. So, you know, it seems like you guys have thought this out over time already. So good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Any other feedback before we move on?
Keeping the name Moshki, huh? Yay! Moshki lives.
Like that.
It's got good juju.
I think I forgot about Chua. Chua, I want you to go next because I know that you had mentioned you go next, and I apologize for forgetting about you. But your turn.
Okay. So now I have to just click on the share screen.
Yep. On the low, if you go down, there's a green arrow.
So do I just click on share?
Yep, share screen. Yep. There you go. Perfect.
Okay. So you all see my screen, but
yes.
I can't see. So I can start now?
Yep, you can start.
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Chaw, and our name is not official yet, but there's a name that we come up with for our farm, and this year is our 3rd year with Big River Farm, and our market for this year will be Looking Park, Woodside, St. Paul, and Shared Ground in Goodacre. So these are our 4 markets that we're gonna sell our produce to. And for management, only Sue and I and family support. We might hire or pay some other non-family member to help, but this year, since we have this going on, so we plan to have some non-member to help and we pay them, but as now we withdraw that, so maybe that might not happen. So this year will be more likely Sue and I manage the whole season, throughout the season. So we both helping on planning, record keeping, seeding, fill, and reharvest and sell. So we both are helping each other with everything. And for our produce, we the cucumber, tomato, and onion are the main crops that we grow more. The rest is more like minor support, just to support our main crop when we sell. And this year we gonna focus on 3 acres, which is on field S and U. And for our expense this year, as right now, the total that we have spent for is $6,939.50 so far. And that's not including some little item that we purchased to support. But what I have on here is the main expense that we use toward our farm. For the profits, this time we don't know yet, because I still waiting for the share ground and for the Quaker. They emailed it to me but I didn't remember it. So for farmer market, we are like everybody. We don't know until we are done with the season. But our goal, we hope to make around 25 to 30 thousand this year. And our resource is more like families in paper farm, and that's including staff, mentor like me, and the classes that we have, the conference that we get to go, and other farmers that we can talk to and share and get support, and the grant that we receive. And I was all of this helping we grow and we improve every year. So every year we experience new thing happen, but all of this resource help we can make it through the season and learn new ideas, strategy to how we change and plan for the next year. So that's it. That's what I have.
All right.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
So if you want to unshare your screen,
Where do I click, Opa? Where do I unshare?
go back
Oh,
and
stop sharing.
yeah, great.
Okay, got it.
Well, no, that's awesome. You put that together, and I know all of your markets are uncertain, but great job. And I think Molly's asking you, what grant did you get? Because she said, way to go.
Right now, I still apply for the ones that they have for the farmer. And there's other from the city where St. Paul resident is. So they have they have grant for like small business. So I think it is depend on what your status, and you can apply and get a grant.
I think, are you talking about the small business one for St. Paul? Sure. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's up to
there's all those.
7,500, and if you're a small business in St. Paul, I think then you can only apply, right? The one I emailed out to you, was it that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, congrats, and way to go, right? So there's a bunch of feedback here for you. Great work, Chua, and everything. So awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, I think the next person on my screen is I have here my whole entire screen just kind of redid everyone's order. So Waku, you're the next one on my screen. So yay, Waku.
All right, let me check to see if I can share. Okay, let me see. There's no to me. Let me check if I can do it. Okay, one moment.
Did you press share screen on the bottom?
Yes. Okay, I have to find. Okay, got it. I go into that. I still scroll down. Do you see anything? No?
Nope, I don't see it. You can email it to me too if you can't do it, and I could share.
Yeah, let me email you and you will put on the screen.
Sure.
Compose to okay. Attach.
Sorry, my little one's crying in the background.
Okay, opens. Okay, sense.
Okay. I'm just waiting for it.
Let's see. You see it?
Not yet. It says I could refresh my screen too.
Okay.
Okay, there you. Yep, I got it. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, let's put that on and I will go with that.
Okay, can you guys see it?
Yes. Okay, let's get started. I just used my last year's presentation with some more information, some new information in there, but most of them is still the same as last year. As you know, my business name is officially now is Transiting Green Farm LLC. I just registered with the History Upstate last month. So that's one thing I have accomplished so far this year. And next one. I do have a vision and mission for my farm business as well. As you see on the screen. Opa, can you click second screen?
Oh, oops, sorry. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, our vision is being healthy is very important to us, and we can visualize the improvements of people's health by providing them with a quality, organically grown vegetable at affordable price. That's our vision, to keep the organic produce at the minimum price that people can buy. And our mission is to improve people's health and to preserve natural resources by growing vegetable organically while reducing the impact of surrounding environment.
Sorry.
And we do have, yep, next one.
Okay.
Yep, I finished that. Okay, business management. I do have a core values because this is my long-term visions about how to be successful. We will have to have a core values about how we flow through our core value. The core value is customer first, and it's based on what they ask for and quality produce, and also a lifelong relationship, not just one time and you are done. We need to build a lifelong relationship with customer. And second is business operation principle is about how you manage your farm, how you manage your business. And I would like to focus on safety first and be more efficiency on the field and what are some of the cost effective. And most important is to preserve the environments, not to very impact what we are doing farming and impact the environment. And also retaining customer values and supporting charity. That means we will doing or growing crops based on what customer needs, and we will adapt into what they want. And also support charity means just whatever left over, we will donate to local food shelf or organization that still need food. And the last piece is about business platform, because I have different tier of organizing and running business, and this is my third year, but still on my first tier. And the first tier is just about I just operate as learning, growing technique, finding market, and improve about fund management and efficiency, as well as finding capital. And my second tier is about working with other farmers and to create whole hubs and navigate all the resources in one step or one warehouse that we can sell as a whole hub. And my third tier is about work with other farmers in different regions to aggregate their produce into certain part of the country. And in our 10 to 20 years from now, that's my third tier of doing business. Next slide. My financial management is budgeting, is about budgeting. So what is my budget for a particular growing season or per years, and also having a record keepings or record including sale and operation. I do use Excel spreadsheet to do my budgeting and also keep track of my expense and revenue. And expense and revenue is projection is based on my previous year and crop sales per year and investment. So my project income for this year, I can't really for project because due to the uncertainty of the COVID-19, a lot of my buyer and wholesale or business that I do have relationship with, they do close their business for now. And I just plan to have as minimum to recover my expense for this year that I should be happy and focus on next year. Yeah, next one. This is about crop or field management. I determines about time, how much time I use for a particular crop or how much time I have to work on the farm. And my farm team, only myself and my wife and the other three technic sons, but at this time, we don't really know about we don't really know much about the market, and our fund team is consists of 5 people, and the two part-time plus another 3 kids, and we should be able to manage the 2 acre based on what I plan for this year. And crop types. For this year, I plan about growing lettuce as one of my cash crop, but I don't really know much because the farm market is uncertainty, and I just don't really have ideas about what should I grow. I just do little by little. Technology is one of my favorite things. I'm looking for a new way to be more efficient because we can't really use labor. It costs a lot of money, also a lot of time. So I'm always constantly looking for technology to help with reading or doing field work. And very fortunate this year, I won out the grand recipients for late win co-ops with $7,000 to buy a Telmo walk behind tractor cultivator with 3 setup equipments, the basket weeder, the 3 rows hose weeder, and the finger weeders. And the schedule shippings is scheduled to arrive tomorrow, and that's one exciting things about getting the grant and put it into investment, buying some technology to help my team, my fund team. So that's pretty much. So I also use tumblers to manage my the water as well. And crop field management, yep, I use mulch, I use tumbler, help me manage my timing using water. And that's what I've been doing in the last 2 years to use my time wisely because I only work as part-time. Yeah, next one. Marketing is very important as well. Even you are excellent growing stuff, if you have no market, you can't really make money. So marketing is very important. So knowing about your customer, who about your products. So first year I focus on retailer store in the Hmong community and working with restaurant. But this year I also expand to other individual as well and other farm market, looking for different farm market, but unfortunately the farm market is not very certain at this time, and I have no ideas about market right now. But good thing that I still have some contract to being refund CSA as well as a sub contract from the Good Acre as well, and at least I could make enough money to recover my expense for this year. And knowing your market demand crops, that's very important as well. And learn each year we learn from different type of crop that we plan to implementing and put into growing. So this year I changed my Asian grain into mainstream crop, but still uncertainty for the market. Pricing is another way because different market have different pricing, and you have to be learning from your people at the market about what are they doing for pricing. So we constantly learn about what's the best way to do pricing. This year it will be totally different because we may do something that very simple as come as a bundles, about 4 types of crops, and come into a bundle of $10, $20, or $30. That is on our agenda, and is about pricing as a bundle, not individually, because we would like to limit it and pre-pack the package. So I still need to do more research about the Hmong communities, about what are some package or a system that work for them as well. And marketing is marketing is part of advertisement, promotion of your produce. I do have my Facebook page as Transiting Green Farm. I also have our community group called Community Gardening Groups as well. I have family member and also community member as well. And this year, look like people start doing home grow gardening, and more people ask me to join the community gardening group. So that is my market. I do have Facebook page for Transiting Green Farm, Instagram as well. So I try constantly advertise my Facebook, and not much about Instagram, but my Facebook is I keep constantly advertise about what's upcoming and what's my plan for this year. Next. And this just something I want to share. Tip for success is continued education is one important key for success, because you would never be an expert, because there are always new technology, new information about growing crops. And start with small and work incrementally, because don't plan about you'll make a lot of money, plan about what you're doing well and start from small. That's what I learned. And learn sales skill is the most important part, because if you don't have communication, you don't have talk skill, you don't have building relationship skill, it's difficult. Even you have beautiful crop, you may not be able to sell and learn sales skills. Knowing your main cash crops is just not about what you can make more money. And let me see, last one, I can't really, oh, I got it. So what is your high value crop? Also determine about what something is high value crop. And previously I do as Asian grain, and determine about how many percentage you will make from your revenue. And this is just an example. So I just put as CSAs 25%, farm markets 25%, restaurants 10%, home sales 30%, and others 10%. That's what I just put a number, and based on what I can do it. So consider all factor when you grow a particular crop. This means some crop may look like you will consider as a high value crop, but require a lot of labor, such as green beans or chili. That might be high price, but take a lot of the time. So consider all of the factor about should you really grow that particular crops or not. And the last piece, yeah, is about post-harvest management or markets management. So just consider all type of thing that if high value, you hear from somebody about the crop is very good selling, but do you really have the market? And is you go to the same market, or is your customer really need that crop? So I make mistakes and learn from mistakes. So that's pretty much what I learned. Sometimes I think it's good for them, but I go and I can't really sell any bundle. Last year I go wrestle and expect to sell to current community, but I hardly selling anything. So that's what I have in pretty much that's my end. Anything else? Yep. Any question? Yep.
Is everybody?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank
Any
you.
questions, feedback, for comments for Waku?
Waku, what grocery stores do you sell to, if you don't mind sharing?
The grocery store I sell to Tiger Supermarket last year and Wali Supermarket. So that's two grocery store that I used to sell to them. And I sell to adult daycare. And one is my being customer is adult daycare. But due to the COVID and they're closed, and I can't really sell to them. I do have a couple restaurants, but they're also impacted by the pandemic, and I can't really sell that much as well. So.
Can I ask, did you just walk in and offer them produce, or how did you end up getting those contracts?
They don't really want to do contract, but whenever I have produce, I just walk by and tell them about I have this much produce. Do they really want a couple bucks? And I just harvest and deliver to them. Yeah. Anything else?
I think Waku also, one thing I want to highlight is Waku does greens, so like Hmong Asian greens, which is like very unique. So like we don't grow all of it, so sometimes I have to go to Waku's plot. So he does like the chum choys and the cilantros, like all of the stuff that, you know, we eat a lot of. So I'm just proud that you're continuing to pioneer the Hmong Asian greens, or the Asian greens that, you know, this year don't let it be like, maybe we might not have as much customer, but maybe that might be a niche too. So don't give up on the greens.
Yes. Mm. Yes.
So, great job.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
All right, thanks. Okay, so our next person on my screen is Jenny. You're next. If she goes, I think she says, "Oh crap," or something.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, so I did this on a Canva presentation. So I just
Cool.
have to share my screen. Okay, and if you hear 3 children in the background, really noisy, I apologize. They're in the house. Okay. Oh, what do I do? Oh, there I am.
Did you figure it out? So you go to share screen on the lower.
Oh,
there.
okay. Are we there?
Yep.
Okay, so I did kind of hastily put this together. I thought it was more next week, so I had to put things down on computer really quick. So, uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. So a tiny bit of farm history. I started the business Calf Gardens back in 2015. That's when we moved out here to the location that we're at. I'm in southern Minnesota, so in a little tiny town called Medford. We are a population of about 1,700 people. Maybe that might be generous. The plot that we own is 10.5 acres, and I have 2 of those that are tillable, but right now I'm only tilling on or growing on 1/2 of an acre. So marketing, a marketing goal for this year is so increasing the visibility of my farm stand. So last year was the first year that I moved the farm stand into the town of Medford. I live in the country, and I had a lot of theft off of the farm stand, so moved it to in town where my dad can keep an eye on it, basically. And so I kind of just dropped it, but didn't really have much signage to go with that, and quickly realized last year that it would be a really good thing if I did. So this is just an example of something I found on Instagram. So trying to put some sort of a banner that's there, putting more price signs, sandwich boards, but also when I go to farmers markets, it's putting like professional things together, kind of as business cards. More than just a business card, but more like a background of who I am, where you can find me, things like that. So that's part of my marketing goal, is creating those. And then I do utilize Facebook and Instagram. And so trying to be more purposeful with all of the gardening, to put pictures of what's growing and what's being harvested. And trying to have those more as like scheduled, pre-scheduling those when have extra time. And then I'm looking at doing also on social media a weekly video tour of what's in the garden and what's growing. Part of my goal with this marketing and all of these materials that I'm going to be creating is to really try to get consistent branding so that everything looks the same. So this is some other stuff. So when I talk about consistent branding, so like this would be a really great example of something that I would want as like a sign next to the farm stand. People can see what it is. What do I have? Maybe what are the prices to it? Where can you find me? Something very basic. So last year, part of my goal was to make pesto and sell it at the farmers markets. And I did go through the process of getting a food handler's license, finding a commercial kitchen to work out of. And so this is part of one of my logos. And so again, about consistent branding. And trying to figure out how to mesh all that together. I also have a web page that should have basically been done last week. This is a little snippet of it. And so when this website was running pretty consistently about 3 years ago, I did like weekly blogs about what's growing, lots of pictures, and I got a lot of traffic from it. So I know that I need to get back to that. And I think one of the ways I'm going to tie the farm stand in with the marketing, and it also kind of goes towards the finance piece of it, is adding in like a pre-order section and maybe then pick up at the farm stand, things like that. Moving into financial goals. Last year I set a sales goal for the year of what I wanted to do, and because things are kind of, you know, up in the air a little bit as far as what types of seasons we're all going to be having, I'm not setting a full sales goal. But what I am going to start working on more is tracking. Definitely tracking weekly sales way better than I have in the past, because I think that's going to be really helpful for me for forecasting, because obviously, you know, as the summer goes by, you've got more produce that's ready to be harvested, and I can kind of do a better job of forecasting what those sales would be for the week. And so I'll also am starting to work on putting in enterprise budget together. I think that that sounds like a really awesome budgeting resource that I'm really excited to dive into, so that I can kind of nail down as far as like what would be expectations for like a particular crop based on the harvest that I have. And that would help me as far as sales as well. So with the enterprise budget, obviously it's going to help determine the sales per bed. Cost of planting the product will be fixed into there. Any sort of fixed costs, summary of the returns and profit, that can kind of help me as far as nail down what profits are going to be. So, or what I can kind of expect as far as then that goes into the forecasting. So I thought this was really interesting. This is based on one of the tools that Laura had provided in one of the meetings. Is based on the area that I'm growing right now and the square footage that I'm growing on, is I thought the estimated sales for my plot would be just under about $58,000, and that was like really shocking. Because if I could do $58,000 on this half of an acre, I could quit my job and I could just farm all day long. That would be fantastic. Not that I don't love my job, I do. But that was really a super enlightening number to sort of ponder. So as I kind of see this as a main goal, like it'd be really interesting to see how my enterprise budget compares to this sort of expectation. or I guess dream maybe. And sorry about my kids, if you can hear them. And so I'm planning on doing about I'm sorry, I wrote this wrong. I'm planning on doing 2 farmers markets a month. And then I set the goal of approximately $100 an hour as a general goal for the season. And so I estimate that if I do about 8 markets, that I could bring in about $4,000 roughly. Now that said, is that the only market I'm going to be planning on doing is the one in Faribault this year, and they get a pretty good crowd, but I don't know if, because it's such a small town, are people going to be really scared to come down to the market? So it'll be interesting as far as, because it's kind of a really deserted town right now when you go out and about. So as far as production goals go, this is my just kind of general goal, is that by November 1st, I will have planted, harvested, and successfully sold a half an acre of vegetables. My plan for this year is about 25 varieties of vegetables and herbs. I have really decided that I'm going to be limiting the varieties of the types of vegetables that I'm growing. So last year, I grew a whole bunch of heirloom tomatoes that were beautiful and they tasted so good. But if it wasn't a red tomato, this community wasn't purchasing it. So, because I think they're just not really familiar with it. And so I'm kind of utilizing, my mother keeps reminding me, Jenny, just grow the normal stuff. Don't grow anything weird. Like I grow purple green beans and it drives her insane. So even though they're delicious. So I'm kind of using her to kind of gauge, like, yes, I need to scale back. A lot of times people don't know what those heirloom vegetables are, even though cauliflower is purple and it's super delicious. People are not willing to try that. So, so I'm gonna just really scale back to things that are really more familiar to the community. I'm also gonna try to start doing some cut flowers this year. I've got about 9 varieties that I'm gonna grow, and I'm adding an additional 100 feet to my garden. So I'm basically adding about 18 additional 50-foot beds. And I'm adding some space also for some sweet corn. So there was a gentleman in town who used to grow organic sweet corn, and he sold it on a farm stand and he did very, very well, and he's not doing that anymore. So I'm gonna try to see if I can capture that. My other, so I know that basically these production goals that I have, I know that I need to be very on top of my management goals, and because that's the only way I'm going to meet my financial goals. So one of the things that I've really kind of started to work on is fertility and pests, really working on soil health. The plot that I'm on right now used to be a conventional field, and so they're not actually fighting with each other. They're actually playing, if you can hear that in the background. They're kind of screaming really loud. But I'm working on, I've actually already planted a spring cover crop for the year. I put down Italian ryegrass, and that's going really well. I did that for green manure, but I also did that for weed suppression. I had a really big issue with weeds last year because I missed a lot of time. Because we had a very busy softball schedule for my daughter, and so the weeds got really out of control, so I'm trying to get on top of that. I've got a really good crop rotation plan in place that I think will help also with reducing any sort of pests and disease issues that I had last year. I had really super bad potato beetles last year, really, really, really bad. And so I'm also working on a plan for really healthy transplants. I purchased, as I'm doing a lot of, I purchased some extra black plastic mulch, like especially for my onions. This year I'm gonna try grafting tomatoes for the time to see if I can help reduce disease with those. My sister works, there's a grower there that's going to show me how to do that. And I'm gonna again because I failed on that miserably last year. As far as management goals, I haven't really dug into that. This is all that I really have right now. But I know that I need a new wash station, and I know that I need refrigeration space also. Okay, I'm gonna go on mute, and I'm gonna go yell at my children. If anybody has any questions. How do I get out of this?
So just stop share on the upper.
Oh, okay, here.
Yeah. So are you done, or
Yeah, that was all that I had. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we clap our hands. Yay.
Okay. Okay. I apologize for my kids. They've been very quiet the whole night.
It's okay.
I have a question for you, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Who helped you build your website?
Who built it? I
Yeah.
used Wix.
Oh, I got it.
A Wix site. So, and honestly, it was like a template. Just, oh, here we go. Stop share. Okay. So it was really like a template that I used. And so I kind of customize it to different things that I have. So it was really easy. It's super user friendly.
Okay. I got it. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Jenny, was that a free website or was that a paid website?
It's paid. I pay a little bit extra so that I don't have ads on it. And I think I pay like maybe $20 a month. I actually think it's less than that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Great. Awesome. Well, you have some comments there. Incredibly well done. And I know last year you said you had the whole weed stuff. So I'm glad that like you addressed it this year. So I'm glad you tied in. And Jenny, just to let you guys know, she joins us. She does all of our classes online. And I'm glad you integrated the crop enterprise plan budget to your plan this year. So
Yeah. So weeds is definitely like the #1 thing on my list for this year, and improving the soil. I think the two of them kind of go hand in hand.
Cool.
So that's a big focus. Yeah.
Awesome. I felt like we just had our one-on-one right here. So good job. All right. So next on here is Lou. I don't know if Lou's going to be able to like hop on. I tried calling him, texting him. I'm sure he could probably hear me. But Lou, if you can join us, we can't hear you. We could see that you're on the phone with us, but we can't hear you. So if you want to maybe call back in, if you can hear me, or unmute yourself. My screen doesn't show you're muting though. All right. I don't hear any response from him. Huh. Okay, well, let's go to Gauli while I try to get a hold of Lou again. Gauli, are you still on the phone here with us? Oh, yep, she's here. So welcome, Gauli. If you can unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, I don't have a computer to use, so you do have my plot map, right?
Yeah, I
upload. Okay.
Your plot map. Did you take a picture and send it to me, or did you?
Yeah, when we do one-on-one.
Okay, let me just see. Let's see. I think you texted to me, and it's not in the email, right? You didn't email it to me. So if you want to just hold your plot map, that should work too, because I think it's in.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys can see.
Yep.
Okay.
Come closer. Let's see. Let me try to find it on my phone. Oh, there you go. Yep. Let me. I think you texted to me, and I have to download it. So.
Okay.
You can start, and then I will pull it up as you keep talking. I'll pull it up.
Okay. This year I'm very excited because last year I was fighting with grass and planting. So my sister, she helped me bought the Jane roller and the paper pot plaster. And I just got my the manual mulch layer, but I don't have the plastic yet. I'm going to get that probably sometime soon to help me with the tilling and the planting. Oh, and then this year, since I learned the plotting from dividing the land into plotting section from the class, so I each acres that I have, I divide into 4 sections, and I can use like certain sections to start on the early crops, and then I will integrate as I go. In certain sections that I don't use, maybe I just throw a whole bunch of beans on it. I was going to do the covered crops on it, but at first I thought, hey, I'm gonna use the bean to sow the bean shoots, so I might as well do that. And I also follow May's or the class the footage of the plot for like use the 140 feet for each line, and I use that as my plot, so it's easier for me and my husband to do the calculations. And my my market is mainly in the African market. So I grow a lot of their vegetables. Last year, I tried to grow quarter of acre on certain products. And I didn't have enough products to sell. So this year I increased the main products that I'm going to sell this year into 1 acre, but I don't know I can do that. Maybe 3/4 of an acre on certain products. And most of the products that I grow is just like one time. I only have to plant one time, and I can grow. I can sell through the whole season.
Goldie, I just want to let you know I was able.
Let me see.
Goldie, I just want to let you know I do have your plot map right here now, and I shared it.
Okay. Okay. And and then my family, my husband and I were the full-time workers on the farm. But this year, my daughter-in-law, she's agreed to help me sell. So she can go to the farmer's market for me 3 days a week. And then, so that way I have time to pick the vegetable for her. Last year, I go to the farmer's market on Sunday. And then my son, he helped me to go to the market on Saturday. And we didn't have time to go on Friday. But during the week, I pick Asian vegetables, and I drop it off at the Asian stores or wholesale. And this year, since I increased a lot of my acreage from 1 acre to, I would say, I plan it for 4, but I don't think that I can make it for 4, maybe just 3, the most. And I was thinking that maybe from what I calculate, if I do the retail stores, maybe I can bring in around 7. And hopefully, if I do really good on the juice, then maybe my total gross income might be around 60. If it's not, might be a little less, a little more. I'm not sure, but depends on the juice acre. And then my expense, so far, I saved all my seeds from last year. And this year, maybe I might have to spend probably around 300 to 400 on potato slips. But so far, my expense is only, since I purchased the new mulch layer machines, and that cost me $1,400. So maybe my expense total, I would say probably, as of now, probably around 2,000. But I calculate the whole season, the whole summer, maybe around 10, plus gas and the labor and the, I have to pay my daughter-in-law. Oh, and then resource, I thinking that well, last year I applied for the hood house from the USDA, but they won't let me know until May or sometime this month. And I was thinking that if I lucky and I get the hoop house, I will be so happy. If it's not, I apply again. And in the future, if my produce do good, then I want to get a truck to help me transport them. And yesterday, as I know that I have to change my plan as I go, even though I do a layout on the map. I don't have the rhubarbs included in my product, but my uncle came in and he said he has a lot to give away. And then this whole week, he gave me 2 truckloads of rhubarbs, and we just finished planting them yesterday, probably ½ acre of rhubarbs. And hopefully I find a place to sell them in the future. I think that's pretty much of what I have.
Okay, and then this is kind of like your map here, right? And I think all your whole operation for 60,000, did you say is on just an acre, right, or 2?
No, I increased from 1 acre to 4.
Right. But on 1 acre, how much were you generating off of 1 acre last year?
Last year, I didn't really keep track on it. I probably did it around in the 20 or a little less than 20, because I didn't know what I was doing, and I fight with a lot with grass.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think I have one comment for Gauli is like, I was totally thrown off when I had my one-on-one with her session. She sells to majority is African, like more like West African and East African, right? Not African American. So like her varieties are like nightshades and Malabar and stuff like that. In the Asian culture, they don't eat. We eat it too, but like that's her major market, and she comes to Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center. So I just think that's amazing how you can totally tailor to a different market and, not related to the mainstream market. So that's awesome.
The only thing I like about African customer is that when they come in, they don't buy a single bunch or 2 or 3 bunches. They buy the garbage bag size. That's the thing I like about them.
That's awesome. Any comments or questions, feedback for Gauli?
How did you first create that? How did you first make that connection and get that market?
I just jump in. There's a guy. He came to me and he said, "I want to sell my farm," and he got like 2 acres. And then he sold the farm, and I said, "Do you have a farmer's market?" And he said he did. And so we just get the farmer's market and the farm at the same time. It was kind of crazy because I never farmed before. Because I never gone to farmer's market. I never go to farm. I don't even know that there's a Como Town farmer's market. And he introduced me to the farm, and the first thing that grabbed my attention is those habanero peppers. That is so easy to pick. It's so easy to sell. In the first year I did it, it was so late in the season, when we sell the peppers. And it's just like you put in the bucket and people come and grab it, and it's just so excited. So that's why I jump into farmer's market.
Wow. So I guess the
But
lesson
I
is,
don't grow, yeah,
the
I
lesson
don't grow
is,
habanero. Yeah, I don't grow habanero peppers anymore, but I go to jutes and malabars and winter spinach.
wow. I guess the lesson is to take a risk and jump in and see what happens.
Right,
I think
right.
Dan asked that you grow a half acre rhubarb, and that's amazing. Is what he said.
Yeah, I thought it would take us probably 3 days, but it's only took us 5 hours to plant them.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're lucky. So we know where to go for rhubarb pie if we need any,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
I think the only person, did I miss anyone else who could still hear me on here? Yeah, Dan says, oh my gosh, we love rhubarb. And Molly says May and me too. So we need to come and buy plantings of rhubarb from you. I guess, are we okay? Oh, I can't hear her. What did you say? She said yes.
You don't have to buy, just come and pick them.
Okay.
You can just, pick them and replant.
But you're about 3 hours out, right? 3 hours north?
No, 1 hour.
Oh, 1 hour.
A little over 1 hour.
Okay, great. So we might have to visit Jenny's farm and your farm for sure. So you both are off farm. I think I would love for Lou to hop on because Lou has so much. Molly said totally worth the drives. We might have to do a field trip to your farm right after they lift this COVID stuff. So for sure. We're visiting everyone else's farm but our farmers, right? So let's visit our farmers' farms. Great. All right. Well, I can't get a hold of Lou. I've texted him. I have emailed him. I think he can hear us, but I can't get him on. So maybe I'll have a recording of him and I could email it to everybody. Is that going to be okay? Just so you guys, I would love to hear how they run it. I actually didn't want to bore you guys too, but I suppose Mungpa's Garden is a part of, May and I are participants. So I don't know, Molly, I did create a PowerPoint. And so I was going to share it because
Marco still needs to go too.
Okay.
I think Molly.
And who else am I missing?
Me. So I'm doing one for Big River Farms.
Okay,
and then
great.
Garden and then Faro.
Molly.
Cool. Oh, Faro? Where did she go on
Faro
here?
first.
Let me see. Let's go Faro first. Let me see. You know, she fell off my, oh, she's right here. I'm sorry. My thing keeps switching. So like her face went all the way to the end. Faro, I'm sorry. Let's do Faro first. I see you now.
Yeah, I'll be really quick. I don't have a PowerPoint. I know it's getting late. Actually, let me turn on the light. So really quick, I have a 1/4 acre that I'm renting from Big River. My expenses are so my income is just the CSA pretty much. So I'm contracted for $2,273. I hope to send flowers to Kingfield Market. I won't have too much produce left over from what I'm selling. So I don't expect to make too much. I'm just learning still, so that's okay. For my expenses, I think I spent maybe $250 in seeds, and then $100 or maybe $200 in supplies. So that includes the potting soil and trays, and I'm gonna get some row cover and some totes. So that's my expenses. So the profit won't be too much, but that's okay. Hopefully I'll break even. Marketing, I'm selling pretty much just for the CSA, and then I hope to do leftovers at Kingfield. If I have a lot of leftovers, I'll try to go to another market just to check it out. I'm growing, corn, watermelon, delicata squash, sunflowers, zinnias, and missing one, beets and radish. So that's all I'm growing. Because I am working part-time and then I'll be on the farm part-time. So I don't have a lot of time. This is my 3rd year and I'm a team of 1 right now. So we'll see if that changes at all in the future. I didn't apply for any grants. I was thinking about applying for them, but I want to wait because I want to maybe use that for a bigger purchase. So when I'm ready to purchase something big, I'll apply for a grant. And that's it, I think.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know Furrow's made a big jump, and like I'm so glad we went from shared plot to like independent plot. Sorry, Grandma just took out the 7-month-old, and they're heading outside. So proud of you, Farrow, like being that you jumped from shared plot with a team and going on your own this year. So that's great. Any other comments and feedback for Farrow? Then we have Molly and May and I next. So Molly, did you want to go first?
Yes, I like to see Molly.
I have Lou on the phone.
Oh, you do? Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Lou. I was wondering if I could put you on speakerphone and you might be able to say your presentation. Do you have one? Would you be able to, if I put you on speakerphone, I'll put you right by the camera and people could hear what you have to say?
That's awesome.
Would that be okay? Okay, I'm going to do that right now.
That's awesome.
Can you say something, Lou? Okay, we're good. We're good. They can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to thank you for the Zoom meeting. So I'm so busy, but I can see you what you say, and I can see what the teacher was. A lot of things there. So I would like to thank you.
You're welcome. Are you willing to talk about your farm a little bit?
The farm?
Yeah. Like, what are you doing this year and what are you growing and where are you going to sell?
Okay, this is my 5th year of farming here. So this year I also planted a lot of things too. I have 4.5 acres to plant. So maybe I'm gonna busy this year too. But I don't know what the COVID-19 on the way. So I worry about that, about the farmer market too. So CSA, I'm not worrying about that, but I worry about the farmer market. I don't know if it's good to sell or not good. So, and I would like to thank you for the stake that training a lot. I got a lot of training. I learned a lot of things. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. We're going to cheer for you now so you can hear everyone cheer.
I can't believe she got him online.
Okay.
I was like,
I'm going to keep you on speakerphones just so you can hear, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Go for it, Molly. You're next.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have to turn on the screen sharing.
Yep.
Oh my. Okay. I did not make a PowerPoint presentation, but I did scan some pictures that I drew.
That works perfect. That's what I said.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yep, perfect. We can see it. Nice drawings.
Thank you. So I wanted to tell you what we'll be doing as Big River Farms this year. We don't grow a ton. It'll be about a half an acre of perennials and a quarter of an acre of vegetables. So what we're growing for perennials is asparagus, rhubarb, way less than Gowley, and willow. And then for CSA, we grow herb pots that go in with the first delivery. And then we're also doing cauliflower, spinach, and potatoes, which was all stuff that nobody else wanted to grow, understandably. And then for wholesale, we grow dill. And the picture is showing that it goes from dill and I sell it to a distillery and they make aquavit. But I don't know if they're going to want it this year because maybe they're just making hand sanitizer. And then we're also growing garlic and then tomatoes and lettuce in the hoop house. And then my favorite thing is growing cover crops. And so we're going to grow peas and oats and then sorghum Sudan grass to start off with. Page 2. The farm team is May, and she works a lot in the greenhouse and in the pack shed, does a lot with veggies and in-field support. And Christina is going to be working on growing the vegetables. She's also spending a lot of time in the hoop house, getting it into really good shape, and then on the tractor. And Jake does a lot of tractor work, and he's going to work on cover crop. And he's in charge of the compost, which I'm really glad about. And then he does like daily farm chores. And then I do a lot of stuff with the tractors and the equipment and planning, and I love cover crops. And I think that you are all on my farm team too, because we all share the same spot and we all help each other out. And I know that you all are always helping me out with things, and I'm very grateful for that. So I think that you're on my team too. For markets, we don't have a whole lot. For CSA, it's just under $4,000. Most of that is from the herb pots. And then wholesale is just the dill. So I'm selling 400 pounds of dill and it's $5 a pound. And then, oh, Lou, are you in the parking lot? Lou's in the parking lot. And then we're gonna do a lot of donations to food shelves, and that will be zero money, but it will be places that food is going. For growing techniques, I am going to use the tractor as much as possible for weeding, and I'm going to focus on fertilizer, so trying to give the plants the best way to grow that they can. So I'm going to do it both before I plant, and then the cauliflower is going to get side dressed and the potatoes will get extra before they're planted. I'm also working with two people from the university on research projects. One is on potatoes, and it's trialing 5 different non-chemical ways of controlling potato beetles. So like mulch and trap crops and row cover and flame weeding them. And then I'm also growing lettuce for a cover crop study and pollinator study. And so it's just like looking at what cover crops you can plant in a short period of time on a vegetable farm. So for the cover crop, 10 acres of the farm is going to be in cover crop this year. And for some of you, this includes land that you are renting. And I think it's really awesome. And the first thing that's going to happen really soon, I placed the order today, is we're going to seed peas and oats on all of the places that are going to be in cover crop this year. And that's to cover the soil, and there are things that will germinate when the soil is really cold. And then my next goal, my main goal for the year, is to kill the thistle. And so the next thing in June, we'll be planting it all into sorghum Sudan grass, which chokes out the thistle. And then I'm gonna mow it a couple times. And then in like August, I'll seed some of that, most of it into like this mixture for nitrogen. And then some of it into sunflowers with oats because it's pretty. And for the perennials are kind of an interesting thing that's happening on the farm. And so that consists of rhubarb. There's 250 plants and that's about 3 beds. We have fruit trees. There's about 15 of them. The gophers keep killing them. And I might replace some of the dead ones this year. And it's pears and plums, apples and cherries. And those are hopefully for markets in the future or food shelf donations. There's 2 beds of willow. I sold some of it this year to a florist. And then May's working on a basket, which I'm excited about. It's fun to see it happen. I'm not really quite sure about the willow, but I think maybe in a year when we don't have COVID, it might be a better enterprise. And then asparagus, we planted 2,000 last year. We're gonna plant another 2,000 this year, and that'll be about 1/3 of an acre. And next year we should be able to eat some of the ones from the ones that we planted last year. So that's the end of my presentation.
Good, Molly.
Thank you.
I really liked your presentation. I love it.
Thank you. It was really fun to make.
How'd you make it? Did you make it on a whiteboard or does it look like you made it on a whiteboard?
It's just on old pieces of letterhead.
Oh, you took pictures? I love it.
I have to translate what I hear, so I heard, oh, I like those drawings. From Albert.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Molly. I guess May and I did make a PowerPoint. Mom, did you guys create something too? We obviously didn't communicate today. I haven't seen my mom for like 2 months now. She drops things off for me at my door, and then she works at Big River and I'm at home. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna share my screen. If you want to take along, I could do it, Mom, and then you could just chime in.
You can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
I do some, but mine is not made sent.
Okay, I'll just highlight on the bigger picture of what we've done thus far this year. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm just amazed by like all of your guys' projects and the optimism behind the fact that like you guys are such entrepreneurs. I mean, like if anybody already, most people would have already thrown in the flag, right? So I'm glad that everybody is still holding on. So I've done a lot of work actually in regards to like rethinking our farm plan. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you bring the iPad to the other room? Sorry, I have my little one who's still doing his homework. He's kind of a slowpoke. But. So May and I believe that like Mongpa's Garden, initially they named it after me when we came in 2008 here at Big River Farms. We've been there for like 15 years at Big River Farms. We haven't yet moved off simply because of transition and finding land. But May and I believe that we named it after me just so that I'd marry the organization, so that my name was inspired by pollination. So Mongpa means in Hmong to pollen, Mongpa like pollination. So we named it after me, and we've just kind of stuck to it because all of our clients knew us. But we are a strong believer that to live in abundance through lifestyle change and eating through integrating organic vegetables to your garden. And I have a typo there. So May and I were part of a scholarship program with Big River with, I don't know if you guys remember Kelly McManus, who came in and did our branding and marketing workshop. We went to her whole class, and it took a month of us to think about our design. And this was the design from our marketing plan. This is a Hmong art that my mother-in-law sewed for us. And we believe in Hmong herbs. Back in 2006, I received an NCRCR grant, and I did a research on Hmong herbs to preserve our culture. And so we felt like our farm garden culturally, this symbolizes us being Hmong, and also that we believe in green. So the pink highlights the the entrepreneurship and leadership in the community. And so I just want to, this is our tent design that we designed with her. This cost us about $1,010 for the backdrop for this and for our table runners. And the theme of the two colors is lime green and hot pink. We wanted people to know that we were certified organic, so that's therefore the logos. May, for this year, May and my dad and I are the farm team. And we actually, we bought land, and it's 20 acres, and our goal for future is to go season extension, and we want to put up like 2 high tunnels on it, and that's like the first step, is like to be able to afford that. We're also, so our production and expenses is, I just stayed up all night last night doing taxes. I like took PTO off. And I crammed, even though taxes are extended to July now, I did 4 businesses of all of our expenses. And so we actually netted pretty good this year. And we have, that's why we were able to qualify for the FSA loan. And so I'm hoping that half of my 20 acres, I could ask someone who could graze goat and graze it and put manure back into the ground, and use the other like 2 acres for just high tunnel growing and putting up. So we're working on putting in a well and high tunnel and electricity. And this is May with her rutabaga. From that grant that we received from NCR SARE, my sister wrote a book called 30 Days of Purification. In the Hmong culture, after you give birth, 30 days you go on a chicken diet. And my sister wrote a book from all the herbs that I gathered. And we believe that the knowledge in the community is getting lost. And the reason why you go on 30 days of a chicken herb diet is antioxidants in these herbs and iron gives back to the community. So this year was a pioneering year for us. Hospitals are now contracting with us to buy Hmong herbs to provide for the women in the hospital. And the most important thing that I fought for this 10 years ago, and my good friend Michael, who's a chef at Regent's Hospital, reached out to me and asked if I could sell to them through the Good Acre. So this year we have 2 hospitals contracting with us to do herbs to the hospitals. And with, I don't know with COVID how that would change, but a lot of the women who has working dads, they just don't eat anything all day at the hospitals because this diet is very strict. This is, I think moving forward, I feel that like we might have to start pre-ordering and doing EBT for families, people who are low income and does not have access. Those of you who were on the call yesterday know that like a lot of our families who don't have access to good food are probably going to be left not being able to access fresh food. So my focus for this year is to allow people who are low income on EBT for either we can do, and also seniors are also my focus because a lot of the seniors don't have people delivering food to them. So I am trying to find a template so that we can deliver and pre-order for markets and engaging and also incorporating the EBT machine. And then our markets for this year, it's also in question mark, is we don't know where Shared Ground, the Good Acre, the food group, we're just hoping that their CSAs are still going forward and they're still filling it. And if not, that's going to drastically, I'm anticipating that we may break even. If we don't get creative, we may take a net loss because we have a lot of expenses at the new farm that we bought. So that's why I am maybe transitioning to full-time farming and stay-at-home mom. My husband and I talked about it, and maybe the next year here we might end up homeschooling our kids and just becoming farmers forever. Who knows? So yeah, so that's basically May and our presentation. Mom, did you want to add anything? I tried breezing through it fast because I know it's like 8:12. I didn't want to get this too long for anyone. Any questions?
I don't have much. I just now just focused on the Big River Farm, lease the land for this year, and my high tunnel over there, and so we're gonna plant some. think about I'm gonna do Napa cabbage on the side on the side tunnel, but I look at this kind of so much water. I'm not sure about it. We'll see. I try to do it. And so that's all I have.
This
And
year,
I got lots of seeding.
yeah, this year because we're transitioning, we have double expenses. So I'm actually expecting for maybe a negative year because we're leasing at Big River Farms and we have to pay this huge bill at our new lot. So I think I have to find a way creatively to sell a lot of vegetables within this year, but I'm being optimistic. So thank you guys.
Yeah, I think that's all we have. And
all
so,
we have. But thank you.
Yep.
We look forward to you. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you.
You guys so much. Okay, well, thank you for all your feedback. You guys all did an amazing job. I was surprised at like the amount of heart and work and mind that you guys put into the work. Sometimes I wonder like all these assignments, does it make sense? I know that everyone eventually wants to work on a business plan, and the marketing stuff Laura sent out, so please reply back to Laura's email. She has like surveys, and we have resources for creating business cards. And it's just really nice this year that we have a budget for each farm team. So utilize it. Reach out to me for any resources. I will be around till the end of June. They did extend my my position here because of COVID. So I told Laura that like I'm willing to help out. So just let you guys know, the whole entire calendar for this year is completed. So just know that some of our tours may not happen, or they may be virtual tours. So on Monday, Growing Lots is amazing. She's going to talk about how she creatively, she did crowdfunding. Just to give you guys a teaser, she did a crowdfunding where she's having people pool money online, but then she's using it to buy CSA for people that are low income. And I just thought, wow, I was like, that just blew my mind. Like I would have even never thought of that as a strategy. So I'm super excited to have her come Monday the 20th. So look forward, I think, no, that's Wednesday, sorry, Wednesday the 20th. So I look forward to that. Other than that, just make sure you guys be safe, and thank you for the greenhouse, you know, being so flexible and adaptable, and we tried our best to be fair with that. And I'm so excited that you guys are back out in the farm, and take care so that this year people would get food. But anything else, Molly, May, or Christina want to make announcements?
I just think this was great. I can't believe we pulled all this off through Zoom. And I feel like really connected, and it was great to see everybody's visuals and the variety, and I'm super impressed. And bravo, everyone.
I don't have much, just that we the farmer doing they coming to the greenhouse, and we are training on Saturday is good. Christina and me was back and forth. It's fun day, and also now farmer in the greenhouse, and they done the repotting, and the greenhouse filled, and now Friday we're gonna move the onion outside to the new greenhouse on the floor. Today Christina put the 2x4 into the new greenhouse on the floor, and so they can be able to put the onion in there, and it's really good. And I would thank you for everybody that trust me to watch their crop in the greenhouse, and for the staff of the program too. Thank you. Oh, I don't hear you.
Thank you, May.
Yay.
We're gonna come to you guys say farming rocks. 1, 2, 3. Farming rocks.
Farmers are so resilient.
I love you. I love you, bomba.
Let's all go eat dinner.
All right. And here's my little one. Come here, baby. Get help.
Oh my God.
This is how excited he is.
He's so cute.
Got a hammer. He's ready to go build my greenhouses, my house.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good night, right?
Good night. All right, I'm gonna stop recording.